Podcast. Podcast.
I've just been kind of jumping between projects. I've got a website that I'm building out that's just called Live Well Market, and I've been in the CBD realm for probably the last like 5 or 6 years, but because of legalities and things, I haven't been able to bring everything online like I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even like states and stuff that I can't, ship to and things like that. So I can, but it would just be like what I would consider fake CBD.
Oh, okay.
All the isolate and stuff like that. Like you can write CBD on it, but you're not really helping people with the problems that they might be looking for.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's almost like a placebo. And you know me, I'm not ever the person to try and make someone fake something. I want them to actually feel it and, get all that stuff. So that's kind of been what I was doing for a bit. And then the whole pandemic threw me into this crazy like stock loop. And I was doing really well with stocks, just like I think anybody that put any money in when it was down. And then I started doing events out here in Santa Ana with a group called the Plant District. And now, I've been like diving in this NFT world like crazy. And I work for a couple projects right now.
Okay.
And getting some stuff together.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it sounds good, man. The NFT thing, I tried reading up a little bit. Like, it's weird. Like, I'm very curious about the NFTs, hence having you on the podcast. But like, I'm trying to read like these articles and whatnot like that, and like try and get like a grip behind of like what it is. And like, there's a lot of terminology that I still got to learn. It's not super crazy, but like, even just before this, I was kind of reading some articles and whatnot. And I'm like, it's such a weird thing. It's like,
the best way to explain it, I would say, is especially for my friends like you guys, the actual image has fairly little to do with the actual NFT itself, because what a non-fungible token is basically something that cannot be duplicated. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these coins, you can give me a Bitcoin and I can give you a different Bitcoin, but they're both the same.
Okay.
And with the NFTs, if you give me an NFT, say we both have Martians, Save the Martian, the project I was talking about with you earlier, no matter what Martian we gave each other, it would be different. There would be different traits. There might be different rarities. There would absolutely be one that would technically be a higher value than the other.
Okay. Yeah, because one of the things I was reading, it was kind of, like crypto and everything. Like the example they did was, $1 is $1, but with like, if you trade $1 for $1, you're still getting $1. But with like the NFTs, you can't trade one FT for another NFT and it have the same exact value.
And you can, if both parties agree on it.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But realistically, it's a smart contract. And the whole thing why everyone gets so excited about NFTs is because whatever you create in that smart contract is what the actual project is. So I've had a lot of friends hit me up and say, hey, I want to make an NFT. I want to make a project. How do I do this? Is this an NFT? And, that's all good. Like, I love it. And yes, it probably is an NFT. It could be. But just like anything else, marketing's involved, community's involved some of the time. And if it's not, you find your niche just like any other designer that we've known, gets his work out there and people hire him. So it's just like that. But the projects that I've been able to work with are like 10,000, 15,000 NFT drops. And there's like between 5,000 to 8,000 different owners. people are collecting different stuff, but they all vary with what they do. So like one of them is basically Oniforce, and that's one of the first projects I got in. It's the first anime NFT project on the blockchain, and they're basically creating a manga comic and doing a bunch of different um, things with their characters, and like the story basically is just kind of being built. Um, they had a interesting pre-sale where they basically handpicked people to be a part of their community before the public sale went live. And luckily, I was able to get a pre-sale, so I was able to mint, which basically minting just means going on their website and buying those NFTs from them instead of on OpenSea.
Okay, yeah.
OpenSea is the main kind of Amazon for all NFTs, but that's a resale site. So anything you're looking on there is someone selling it to you, not necessarily the original mint.
Okay, yeah, because what I've been reading and whatnot, and by the way, I mean, I've told you, but for people listening, I don't know anything about this. I mean, besides what I've read on here and whatnot. So like, I apologize if any of my questions are stupid or I don't know how to phrase them, but yeah. Yeah, I was looking at the different ones. You know, there's the OpenSea that seems to be the main one, but like what you're saying, it's kind of a resale. It's, you know, there's only one real owner at a time per NFT, right?
Yes and no. So most projects, there will be a lot of one of ones, but there are also certain people that will do a 10 of 10, 50 of 50.
Oh, okay.
Recently, like there was a Mike Tyson drop, and it was amazing. He collabed with a really great artist that's well known in the NFT space, and he made some pieces. And I mean, everything he was doing was like 50 of 50 for rare ones. They were selling out right away, going for about, I think it was like $1,200 or something. And then they instantly flipped for about $6,000.
Damn.
And they kept going up. And it was like one of my first drops. I still didn't know what I was doing with my crypto wallet, and I was figuring stuff out. And I'm just watching this buy button finally pop up because they crashed the site. There were too many people trying to buy them. And one of the main problems we've been having with NFTs is basically the gas. So anytime you buy something, it's a transaction fee. And because the transactions aren't like Visa, MasterCard yet, it's DeFi. So basically you wait in line, and whatever you're willing to pay is where you get put in the line. So if someone's willing to pay like $200 for this NFT and gas, and you're only willing to pay $150, you may not get it. And if your transaction fails, you'll lose the gas, but get the money back for the NFT.
Damn. Okay. So it's like, yeah, it's like a kind of like a bidding war, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. And sometimes you get it, you're fine. But say it's a really big drop, you know, the Discord's got 30,000 people in there. Like there's a project called The Sevens. It just recently came out, and they had people for a week just not sleeping, ranking up in there, trying to get these pre-list, because that was the only way gas wasn't going to be crazy. Gas ended up jumping to like $2-3 grand, almost like one ETH, just to buy the NFT, not even the actual NFT price. And so, I mean, that's been happening, but at the same time, it just shows the excitement, and it shows the amount of people that are there. Some people are in projects to flip it. They're day traders.
Yeah.
You know? And then you have most people though that they've found a community, they've found a home in this Discord group. They may be better friends with those people that they get along with than like people in the real world that they work with or something. I'm really noticing a lot of community-based projects are the ones that are thriving. You know, like even Bored Ape Yacht Club. If you own a Bored Ape, you basically have special events that they'll coordinate and put together for you, with you. But even there's a riverboat casino. And so they literally are playing cards virtually in a metaverse. And if you're not a Bored Ape, you can't get on the riverboat.
Damn. Okay.
So it has turned into almost a club, and not to price things out, but a lot of us are already priced out of these clubs, these cyberpunks, these Bored Apes. None of us are going to pay $150,000 to be a part of a club. But imagine if you do really well with a couple different NFTs and you randomly have 200 grand. It's insane to think, of course, that,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to buy an ape, but like you understand the value because of all these other projects you've been a part of. You know,
Okay.
and there's some projects I buy, I don't like, and I sell because I'm active in the Discord. I see announcements. There's this project. I won't name it because I'm not trying to like bury anybody or anything, but I bought it for like $150. I minted a really rare one, and they were announcing, you know, they had sold out of everything, and they did a community vote on what they were going to spend their community chest on. And they decided they were going to put a bunch of billboards up all over the United States. And I was like, this is the most boomer idea I've ever heard of. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
So I looked at the pricing of what, you know, people were selling theirs for, and I put mine up for $1,000, thinking like, dude, a couple weeks, maybe it'll sell. 3 days later, $150 turned into $1,000. Even my Oni-Force, you know, right when Oni-Force dropped, within 24 hours after the public release, and it sold out within like 5 minutes, I was getting $18,000 offers.
Are you kidding me? That's insane.
No. Yeah, but here's the thing. I know I sound crazy. I was very excited to be a part of the Oni-Force community.
Yeah.
And, you know, even getting pre-sale, I would not have gotten the public sale. It was too wild. So the fact that I was able to be chosen, yeah, I own 2 of them. I should have probably gotten rid of one for that. But to be real with you, I couldn't see myself selling one for less than 100,000 because of the history on it. And I mean, here's where I start going into like, people are like, this kid's insane, right? But you got to look at a lot of this stuff, and some of these projects are paying people out because these treasuries, that these community chests that are building are all divided in whatever you want. Like I was saying with the smart contract, inside that smart contract, if you write like a group called Lazy Lions as well as Sympathy for the Devils, they're literally just devil JPEGs and lion JPEGs. They're already giving back dividends to holders of these NFTs. I own 2 Sympathy for the Devils. I messed up and didn't get on the Lions. It was like $400, and I was like, I don't want to pay $400 for a Lazy Lion. The artwork's cool. They're worth like $4 grand right now. And it's been a month. So this world, it moves like 6 hours, 8 hours is a full day in this NFT space.
Moves fast.
Yeah, I left for 2 days, wasn't on Discord, was doing normal life things, and came back. I missed some metaverse key that I was able to get because of some character I got to get into this world, which would have just made the worth of my stuff higher. And then I missed a pre-sale that I had made on, and it was cool. I didn't mind all that, but it was just interesting to see how dedicated, if you get into this stuff, you can turn, like, I think I started beginning of August, maybe, really trading hard. And I've turned about $3 grand into like 35 if I sold everything.
Okay. Damn.
And even like the Oni forces have dropped since then. They're not worth like 17 at the moment. There are some rare ones that are. I mean, Logan Paul bought one for like 600,000. Steve Aoki bought one for like 200 or 300,000. Bunch of people are getting into these projects and stuff like that. But it's definitely interesting because the art space has always been around, but now it's real. Like back in the day, if you bought an art piece, you had to figure out how to prove that that's an original.
Yeah, that is one thing I like about the NFTs is, you know, for a fact that is, you know, the copy, the one, you know?
Yeah, it's on the blockchain forever. I mean, even when I sell something, it'll show that I sold it, what I sold it for, and what I bought it for.
Damn. This stuff is so interesting. And like it's crazy. And another thing that I read, and you can probably correct me if I'm wrong, but like apparently these NFTs were around for, like a few years. I think it said like 4 to 5 years, something like that. And now it's, well,
Yeah,
gaining massive traction. I mean, is that from like the pandemic and everyone realizing that, I mean, just doing the stock market is a huge game.
I think honestly, it crashed. So there was a time when it was really big, and again, everyone wants to use smart contracts. As soon as Ethereum allowed smart contracts, people were trying to find utility for them and uses. Like I know I watch a lot of Gary Vee videos, not too many like in depth, but I do believe him when he says like people are be getting married on the blockchain, and there's so many uses for these smart contracts. I can even explain to you how like we would use a smart contract to be paid. These things are time released, and they can release finances uh, in a weekly, a biweekly, a monthly, or a yearly time period.
Mm.
So if your employer hires you for, you know, 12-month contract and you're guaranteed this much a year, well, what if it doesn't work out 4 to 6 months in,
Mm.
and they just terminate your contract? With an NFT, they can't do that.
Okay. Huh.
You own it, so you're guaranteed that 75, 90,000, 150, whatever you're able to make, and it's released to you in whatever uh, you both have decided and agreed on. But
Okay.
since it's a digital contract, it can't be kind of reversed.
Yeah. Damn. So much stuff to take in. It's insane.
Dude,
Uh,
I know. And with all like the going back in history with the crypto punks and stuff, a lot of people thought that that was the first ever project on the blockchain. So that's why they were so valuable. And there was a lot of people, they call themselves blockchain archaeologists, and they basically have been trying to go back and back and back because everything's on the blockchain, and find projects that are pre CryptoPunks. And that's where a lot of people see these rocks showing up and saying a rock sold for
yeah.
1.2 million. So the rocks are actually pre cyberpunk. So a lot of people are now just buying that as like rarity, just like in normal art,
Yeah.
buying pieces hundreds of years old from so and so person. It's the value is not necessarily the art itself. The value is how old and how well it was preserved.
Interesting. Is that the rocks that I've seen that like Logan Paul has been posting about and whatnot? Or is that something different?
Yeah,
That is it?
yeah.
Okay.
So like Logan, and I mean, I'll say him, Banks, and even the whole like Phase Clan and all them and all that stuff. They do a great job with their NFT research. I mean, I believe Phase Clan has a NFT team that works all together and stuff. But between Banks and finding people like Ghost and some of these other just kind of like obscure artists, they're buying picture frames. They're and it's this isn't like some weird pump and dump thing. Like there's other valuable artists that have been in this much longer than those guys have,
Mhm.
that own these things, that see value in it, that understand it, and maybe even are getting paid out dividends through something of the smart contract.
Okay. And so one thing that I've kind of realized, and I mean, this is just what I've seen, and it's not a lot because I can only scroll so many times before my fingers want to fall off. But the ones that, I mean, I literally just typed in like the top selling or most expensive NFTs, and like there's a couple, and it might change from site to site, but there's some that like I look and it's real cool artwork, but then you go to shoot, let me find one that's kind of weird. The everydays, the first 5,000 days.
Got you. Yeah.
I mean, 69.3 million. And it's just I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here in this image, but it's just 5,000 JPEGs put together. And I don't see like a collage or anything, or maybe it's one of those like trick paintings or whatnot where you stare at it long enough, you see a sailboat. But
Yeah.
what's the
No,
deal
I
with,
mean,
yeah.
so okay, I can explain any of that stuff. I mean, I'm not people, right? So I have no idea what his thoughts were on those. But I would say that, did you see the banana with duct tape in Miami?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so, I mean, art has always kind of been subjective.
This is true.
There was an art piece like 2 weeks ago, I believe. This guy had spent like, I think 15 or so years building this glass piece at this museum and laid it out, and the cleaner actually swept it all up on accident.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh,
you
no.
know, but it's all subjective. But at the end of the day, I think, again, you're getting into historical stuff. You're getting into numbers. When I would go to art shows, I was always going to Luke Chu events, and I would be buying prints, not even knowing what I was doing. And I'd be at Crayola events. He's one of my
Oh
favorite
yeah. He's sick.
painters, right? And so I have like a ton of Crayola stuff, and still just, I never had intentions of flipping it like people would do with this digital stuff.
Mhm.
I bought it because I liked it. But it was interesting because the woman that worked at a couple of the galleries started noticing me, and I would order something and she would look and she's like, "Hold on, Josh, let me get you a lower number." And she'd go in and try and find me the lowest number, and I'm like 19, 20,
Yeah.
like buying stupid art pieces instead of saving money like I should have been. And it was cool because it never registered to me that I needed a low number for it to be quality. I
Mhm.
liked it for what it was. But obviously you start seeing resale and this and this and that, and value and rarity, and the lower the number the better. So on the Beeple, on the everyday stuff, I would say it's all about the rarity, because he's not making a collection of like 10,000 things that have just different traits. He's making completely different images.
Mhm.
So it's like you owning one of the first 50 Van Goghs.
Damn. Okay. Shit. Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, I look at it and because I'm an artist, photographer, videographer, I do graphic design and stuff like that. And I have a couple of buddies that have recently put out NFTs, and I don't know if they have motion or not, but like I mean, I've thought about it, but I don't know enough about crypto and, was it Ethereum, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, there's also Solana now. Solana is a really like newly popular one, because the gas fees are cheap. Cardano has started doing them. Cardano has a couple really good projects. There's like Cardano Kids. They're similar to like Garbage Pail Kids, and they're these cards. They put out a ton of collections. And then they have like the Hoskinson family, which is like the creator of Cardano. They've created like this whole cartoon version of those. But again, these are some of the first NFTs to ever go on the Cardano blockchain. So they're probably going to be worth something later on in the future. A lot of these Solana projects are selling out in like 10 seconds.
Damn. Okay. Hmm. So, for example, like if someone wanted to, like whoever's maybe listening, they're like, I want to, create some NFTs. Already have art and whatnot. Like, what's like kind of like the best route like for them to go through? I mean, as far as like maybe learning a little bit more of, I mean, how to go about it and kind of knowing your worth. And also, it's like the people that are already famous beforehand, they're going to have kind of an upper hand, I guess. Or if you're like a full-time, big artist, you're gonna have kind of a leg up. But like someone, for example, just me, say I have some art pieces that I want to turn into NFTs. I mean, how do you go into that realm and kind of like, I mean, is it just gonna sit there forever and ever? And you know, do you
No, I
pay,
mean,
or like how do you do?
it'll work. It'll work. It's not like this old school Hoagie Barmichael's pay to play type thing. You just have your friends buy your art and make you feel better. Those days are done for the most part. You are probably going to have a lot of friends or people that want to collect your art just because it's something they want to hold in their wallet. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I first got into NFTs, first thing I did was hit up every designer I worked with through Paper Alligator, Jeffree Star Cosmetics, when Austin and I had Aspire and Create, Umbrella, everything. Any person I worked with, I was like, hey, are you doing NFTs? I want to buy one. Like for me, it's me being able to hold something from someone that I love their art in general.
Okay.
It has like, I'm really weird about collecting. If you look at my wallet, I've minted stuff that is worth nothing and I'm totally cool with it because I like it.
Yeah.
I paid like gas and it was like $20 gas, but it was actually a free NFT. And I was just like, this guy's cool. This artist is great. Let me get going on this. But in general, for people looking to, I suggest Rarible.
Okay.
It's just rarible.com. And that is similar to OpenSea, but it's a lot more friendly for people that don't have a huge collection. If you want to try one and mint it and see what's going on, or do two, I highly suggest it. One of my friends, Jake, he was in the band Hertimize My Rise and
Okay.
Carnifex as well for a bit. Known him forever. He ended up making an NFT, and it's a little, uh, character, and it's like slashing a sword. It's got motion in it, but it also has music in it. And he basically
Mm.
took a guitar riff and just had it already on his computer, and he owned it. He made it. So he added the guitar in there, and I think he sold it in like the first week.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm not sure if he sold the other one, but I know he's like making others, and it's just kind of like a side thing. It's nothing he's trying to do full time. He has an awesome job, but it definitely showed me that like Rarible was a spot where there's a genuine community. There's a lot of people that are willing to find art that they're into and buy it because they like it, not because they think they're going to have monetary value later on down the road.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed. I mean, there's the people that, are collecting the things that they like, like what you said, you paid just gas for something just because you liked it. It was a free NFT, but you paid that. And, you're, collecting it because it's something that you want, not necessarily because you're like, oh, okay, this is going to pop off. I'm going to flip it. Like, which there's no wrong with that. But I've definitely have, noticed that there's kind of different realms of what people are doing on NFTs, and it's pretty cool, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean that would just stress me out if I was only doing this whole thing because of like financial gain. I would not be excited about projects and sitting in discords and
Hmm.
trying to get on pre-lists. I mean, I know it sounds crazy. Um, like they call it just grinding, of course. You're sitting in Discord and you're just grinding rank. You're trying to get your rank higher and you're talking to people. You're creating, conversations and just trying not to spam.
Mm,
And
okay.
it's so funny because the energy that is in these rooms when there's 20,000 people all trying to get 7,000 art items of this project. And it's not the art. They want to be a part of the community. They want to hang out in that Discord after and own one of those. And when there's an announcement and an update, a lot of these projects will do free airdrops. So,
Huh.
for instance, our project, Save the Martians, if you own a Martian, yeah, it's probably going to be middle to beginning of October or something. We're going to be giving away an airdropped UFO.
Hmm.
So there's 15,000 Martians. We have 15,000 unique UFOs that we're dropping, and we have a merging process where basically it's a Martian forge, and that's on September 25th. Basically, you're going to be able to take if you have multiple Martians, you can merge them together. We have a machine that'll allow you to pick the traits that you want to keep and the
Oh,
traits that you
what?
want to take away.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, and so what it's going to do is our project is technically going to be deflationary because when you burn a Martian, you've taken 1, 3, 5, however many you merge, you've taken them out of the system. So this now guy might be 5 Martians in one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the lower our numbers are, obviously the higher the scarcity on people needing those. But there's also going to be a lot of community benefits and stuff. We're doing a metaverse game where basically you're going to be able to earn tokens and you can turn those into cash. So it's a pay to play side, but all the gaming stuff and NFTs is really exciting, man.
Yeah, I mean, because once you build that, community, you want to, like you keep saying, you want to be a part of that community and you want to join. And it's like, oh shit, like, the metaverse game and whatnot. It's like, oh shit, like I want to get in on that, like, because well, one, it's sick, and two, like who knows, maybe your buddies you met the last Discord is on it and whatnot like that. So,
well, I'll just blow your mind right here.
All right.
So this the Save the Martians game is not this, right? We're not here yet, but as far as like Axie Infinity, that is the most popular game right now with our NFT stuff. Axies used to cost you about like $7, $10. Now they cost roughly $300.
Oh.
And if you have 2 of them, you can basically make them and make a third. But if you have 3 Axies, you can actually earn money. And here's where it's going to blow your mind. People in third world countries that do not have access like we do to the certain jobs we have and the certain economy that we have, they can actually make more money playing Axie Infinity than they can working a normal 9-to-5 job right now.
No shit.
Yeah. So it's a huge thing. A lot of awesome, you'll see in Discord, so many people from Malaysia, so many people from the Philippines, so many people from just all over the place. But they'll literally work out a deal with someone, and there's websites that do this where you can rent an Axie. You can rent someone's Axie Infinity, and while you're at work, they're playing this game and earning you both money, and it still makes them more money than they would make on a normal job.
Oh, damn.
So that's
cool.
That's why when everyone says like NFTs are going to change the world, they're not talking about this Bitcoin to $1 million, we're all going to be rich. They're just saying like actual use case, it is fundamentally making everything that much easier for us to do it. And we're going to feel lazy because our assets for the first time in a long time are really going to start actually making us money. A lot of us didn't get in the stock market back in the day because it crashed on us.
Mm-hmm.
When we were there, our parents were freaked out and didn't want to touch it. Some people's parents, they did it, they've done well, that's awesome. But there's a huge wealth gap of a lot of people that are unable to basically create dividends and make passive income. And a lot of these projects and NFTs that have nothing even to do with art, you're going to see in the next 5 years. They're going to be ways to create passive income and pay your bills without actually having to do that 9-to-5.
Wow. So, I mean, one of the things I was curious to ask you as far as, it's like, like the stock market, crashes and there's, dips and all that and peaks and valleys, but like the trajectory, that's one of the words I just never, ever should try saying. The route
trajectory.
What you said. You said, 5 years, that's going to kind of take off. And so it kind of seems that, NFTs are here to stay and it's going to keep growing and growing and, turn into something even more and more than just collecting these digital art pieces. It's going to help the world kind of as like a community.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, right now, I do not know if this is going to happen. I'm not trying to just make things up here, but there's already tokens called proof of participation tokens. They're like POAPs.
Okay.
And these tokens are used for NFT releases and different things you show up on in the metaverse. So, for instance, with Oni Force or Save the Martians, with their release, when you bought your NFT, you also went to a different site and you connected your Meta wallet, and they gave you a proof of participation showing that you were there, and you got this little new image that went in your wallet that's kind of like a ticket stub.
Oh,
And so I have a feeling that these will be our new digital tickets, whether it has to do with COVID, whether it has to do with just new protocols and making it easier to be in your phone. Um, these your concert ticket is going to be an NFT.
damn.
And here's the thing, there might be utility to it if the band is really unique and interesting, but there also may be no utility to it at all. It may just be a digital asset that you could sell later on a blockchain if someone wants to buy your Tool ticket stub because they never got to see Tool, but you owned it from 1995. You know,
Wow.
and but the bands that really could thrive from this type of stuff is the whole thing with the NFTs is once you sell it, as the artist, you can collect 5% back or whatever you decide, I guess, in your contract. But most people do 5% back on every transaction after. So say you only sell it for $100, but in 2 months it starts selling for $1 million. You get 5% of those transactions forever.
What? Damn. So that's just something you got to be savvy with when you're doing your contract then.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you're creating your NFT contract, it's very like open and known.
Mhm.
People want the artist to make that money,
That's
and
cool.
that's why a lot of these artists that are coming from nowhere, they make 1,000 collection and say it resells 6 times, and now it's worth 3,000. They've made 5% all the way up.
Damn. Okay.
And so with bands, if a band was to say, perfect example is uh, Tory Lanez. Tory
Mhm.
Lanez
Mhm.
dropped an album, an NFT album, and he sold, I think, 1 million copies in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Um, Now people are trying to resell these copies now, and who knows what it'll be worth? Who knows how it will actually work itself out? But he, as an artist, was able to get out 1 million sales in 30 seconds. Like, that's insane. Normally week, okay, let's check billboards, let's check these,
Mm.
instant. I think a lot of artists are going to start jumping on that. Maybe if it's not even music, imagine what our artwork booklets used to look like and how they used to be all unique and things.
Mhm.
Um, I could see that coming back. Like when I thought of like Crown the Empire and when they first had their whole lore and
Yeah.
storylines, I see some of these NFT projects and I go, dude, this looks like they're ripping off Crown the Empire's lore. But, at the same time, if they ended up putting out back then, or still did, a 5,000 piece character set of a vampire scene looking, girl, and what it does is certain rarities give you access to meeting them at shows. Certain things give you
Mm.
access to pre-sales in the concerts. Other ones allow you 20% off merch for the rest of your life. Things like that. And as the band grows, if you grow out of the band or say you just need the money, you might be able to make money off of reselling that to someone who wants it more than you now, because there's only a certain amount of those.
Yeah. So that definitely sounds like I mean, I can see that happening for a lot of bands if that's not like the new normal for sure.
Yeah,
Dude.
I mean, dude, Gary Vee's already doing it. It's called Gary Vee and Friends, and I mean, this guy is a genius with his time. A certain part of his NFT collection, he has different ones, and if you buy one of them, you basically get him a part of your project. So he will like talk about your project, be on the project, and
Oh.
be on your board. Another one, you just get access to all of his events and you can go to them. Other ones, he'll get on a Zoom call with you once a month and go over it with you for 12 months. And I mean, imagine if you're ready to sell that NFT and someone else really, really wants to get on a Zoom call with Gary Vee because they have a great idea and they have this and this and that. What are they willing to pay for that experience?
Mhm. Dude, it's so cool to see all the like hear all these things that you can do with it. And I mean, I'll have to talk with you, a little bit more off air and whatnot, text and over, a few days, weeks, months, whatever. But, I got a bunch of stuff. I mean, been touring for the last like 10 years. I mean, I got a lot of stuff. So I'll have to figure something out. But one thing I'm also curious about is when you are ready to sell something, what's kind of like, I've heard that there's kind of, a pretty decent percentage of what comes out of it when you sell. Like if you want to cash out,
Yeah.
what's that kind of, I feel like it probably ranges, but what is that? Like, is it a huge chunk or?
No. So basically, OpenSea takes like their initial percent. And I mean, it's you set your price. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So you know exactly what you're selling it for. You know exactly what they're taking out. And if you don't like it, you can up your price. You can do whatever. There's a lot of people that, for some reason, they bought it and they did not plan to hold it for over a week. So you'll see certain things go underneath the floor price that they paid for. They're actually losing money just to get rid of it. And you're like, whoa, what is going on? But, it happens. And some people just, they freak out, they panic, and they keep dropping. I would say if you're ever going to buy something, make sure you want it. That's it. Because 95% of these projects are probably going to zero in the next 3 to 5 years. And that's why it's one of those, just like with stocks, how people are like, oh, I can find all these stocks. You can look at OpenSea, or you can go to Rarity Tools, go to upcoming releases, and you'll see there's 30 different NFT projects that drop every day.
So many.
Yeah, I get invited to at least 15 to 20 different discords of new projects a day of someone telling me this is going to the moon. Right?
Yeah.
And it's fine. I mean, it's cool. I appreciate like that everyone's excited about these projects and stuff. But just a lot of them, you look at the roadmap, you look at how many people are in Discord, you check how many Twitter followers they have, you check interactions, like you look at activity of sales, you can look at all this stuff through OpenSea. You can go to an OpenSea account of a project that's open, and in the top right corner, it'll have the Discord, it'll have the Twitter account, it'll have the website, and it'll also have activity. Activity is the most important one. It'll show you those sales throughout the past day, 24 hours, 48 hours, etc. If there's a project that's not getting bought up in a day and it's just kind of sitting there, if you like it, like I said, buy it. That's what you're there for. But if you're trying to buy something and you're thinking anything's just going to go up in value, make sure you're doing your due diligence and checking the volume, making sure that activity is high with volume, making sure the Twitter is active, they have a community. Some of these guys don't know how to market yet, and they don't know how to use their social media accounts, and they kind of stay dull for 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
And I know it sounds crazy, but that's not where you would want your investment money to be.
Well, yeah, if you're investing in something, especially if you like the art you're buying, you want the person you're buying from to also like what they're selling.
Yeah, and you can.
Yeah.
It's very apparent too. You can see projects. I mean, when you see developers and different people that are main people in projects, and they're in Discord talking with everybody. I mean, it is like, it's so much better, and it's a spark. The whole community gets crazy because these developers are busy. They're constantly trying to get these updates, and everybody is so picky with what they want, how they want it. Why isn't the floor rising? Why isn't this worth more money than what I got it for yesterday? There is that side of people that are just, we got the whole world in here. In Discord, I will talk to people in Australia, in England, in Japan, so many people from Singapore. It's insane. So, I mean, I think in the last 2 months even, most of my friends are now in Singapore and different
so cool.
spots. Yeah, just because we'll be communicating and talking about stuff, and I'm in Discords with them, and we'll go to other projects together, and it's like 5 or 6 hours will go by, and it's the same thing as guys playing video games with their buddies, in
Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think, I mean, besides the fact that, you could potentially make pretty damn good money, but that part is definitely something that attracts me to, the community of it. And, you know, I love to talk. I have a podcast. I mean, I think that would be fun. I mean, I got to figure my own shit out on the back end with what I want to put up and get that all geared up to go. But that's definitely fun to think about. I could probably get into a lot of trouble by not leaving my office studio.
No, definitely. And I mean, I think I don't even know what the metaverse holds for us yet. And
Mhm.
when I say metaverse, this is this world that basically is being built. There's a ton of different spots. There's like Decentraland, where people are buying land. They're building stores in it right now. You can hang out. You can go to art galleries virtually in Decentraland. There's also Sandbox, where people are buying houses and they're buying property and things to live in. It's very strange. That's
Interesting.
getting beyond.
Yeah.
Uh, not me in like beyond there, but just like the idea of coming home, putting on my VR headset, and hanging out in my metaverse house that might be a mansion by the digital beach, and really I'm in Nebraska,
Yeah.
you know, but it doesn't matter anymore because I'm at my beach house.
Yeah.
So maybe one day it does get that far, but Facebook is already getting in the NFT game. They're working on a bunch of like metaverse type games as well, creating their own metaverse, I guess, which I don't know how that's going to work, but Facebook adopts everything well, so I'm sure it's going
Yeah,
to be
right.
great. Um, but yeah, I mean, you've got Visa buying CryptoPunks. You've got Budweiser buying NFTs as their marketing plan. And the whole point in all that is um, they have to, they really have to make themselves reputable in whatever's cool and whatever's getting,
Mm.
there.
Yeah.
But when you even look at like Visa, when Visa looks at even selling that CryptoPunk when they do, they've already tripled their money in a month.
Damn.
So it's similar to like when Tesla was buying Bitcoin and saying, "Oh, we accept Bitcoin now." No one who wants to buy a Tesla with Bitcoins.
Yeah.
Like that's digital gold. This is not like the way it is, but obviously think of how much Bitcoin they're able to accumulate at the time
Mhm.
because they needed to hold it, and how much money they actually made in their bottom lines, you know,
Yeah.
from just holding Bitcoin for a bit and selling it when they said that it wasn't, friendly to the environment.
Dude. I'm gonna have to listen to this episode back a couple of times and write notes. The one thing, what was the site that you said? Like, if someone wanted to start off, what rarity?
Rareable.
Rareable. Okay, I just want to write that down.
Yes.
Rareable. Yeah.
And I highly recommend, if you do want to even just see what's going on in the NFT space, the OpenSea app just launched on the App Store. I believe it's on Android as well, but it's just OpenSea
Okay. Right
and
on.
then SEAC. Yeah, so that's awesome. More adoption, more people checking the stuff out and getting into art. And yeah, man, hopefully we can get you to on a couple projects with us.
Yeah, definitely. I'll talk to you over text, or maybe we'll jump on a phone call or something here in the next, I don't know, this month. I don't know. I got work, I have podcasts, I got stuff to figure out, but it's super fun. And I definitely learned a lot. And like I said already, I have to listen to this back again and write things down even more. But I definitely appreciate you taking time out of your day, night to chat with me about it.
Yeah, no worries, man. I mean, I'm stoked to always do it, and I'll let you know when I get all of our YouTube thing together. I've got our friend Brooke Hannah. I think you know Brooke from
Oh yeah,
uh,
back in the yeah.
yeah. So Brooke's doing awesome. She's, I think, moving back to LA, but she's going to be a host with me doing an NFT show,
Oh,
and
cool.
then yeah, and then my friend Tim, I've known from like literally junior high. He's got his own card breaking and collecting kind of thing that he does. So he's actually going to be doing sports NFTs, Top Shot, all
Okay.
that stuff. I'm not familiar, and I'm not trying to fake it. So I wanted to bring someone in that was good. But we're trying to build a really cool community where people can find out about NFTs as well as just learn about the drops that we're looking into, and updates and stuff like that in the world.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, definitely keep me posted, or I'll just keep out an eye out for your socials to when you post that, because I will be tuning in for sure.
Definitely, man. Well, as always, good talking to you, and thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course. Well, take care. I'll talk to you soon.
The Daily Podcast.